Well, my wife's out here to help me. It is easier with two people. You can see, I want to step in my rows. See how I go away from a stake on a 45? I'm trying to stay, this is a row. This is a row. All the nutrients, the water, the lime, everything, the compost is in this row. So we put the tomato in the ground with the roots right there. Run it over to the stake, run it up, pull all that, wet it down good. Pull all that soil over top of it, and we got them planted. And I'm digging the holes, and my wife is putting them in the ground. Now up here on the end, I've got poor soil at the end of this garden. This tomato, that tomato won't do as well as the others. So I'm putting it on a 45 back toward the other one. The soil has got to be a little bit better here than it is over there near that trench I put around here with the tractor to keep the weeds out. Another way to do this before you plant them, I just took this out of my trash barrel. Holding it upside down, nothing can break. You take a pair of pruning shears and you notice what side the blade's on. If you take this and put that blade like that, you leave a bit of a gap. If you turn it over to where the blade is flush with it, you can cut these lower leaves off. You have to turn it around so that the blade is right against. And then when you put this in the garden, it's already done. You have to get used to holding these things upside down, and you have to really protect them so you don't break them. And but this is the way we do it. I was breaking them off over there. I just thought it'd be easier for people that weren't used to doing it this way. But for the people who are seasoned gardeners, just take your little pruning shears, always put the blade next to what you're cutting, and it'll work. Well, today is Sunday the 20th. We started this yesterday. We worked about 6:15 and we were both tired, and we gave up on it, and we're having to plant the last row today. You can see where I've covered the root ball that came out of the carton with some compost before I watered it, but even then you can see the white flecks from the soil ball. I'm trying to just keep that ball intact. And now we usually do like 5-6 of these at a time, and then we water them, and then we cover them up. And then we come back with a rake and bring all the soil from the other side over top and mound it, because it'll settle. See, here's one that I've started and I've covered with the soil just a little bit, so when I water it I don't hit the root ball. These pots, cartons, are about 7.5 inches tall, and the root ball is about 7 inches. Just trying to give you a better idea of what I'm trying to do here. You can see my stem. The stem is at 18 when it turns out the soil. All that's going to be under the soil. So I'm going to have 18 inches of roots on that one plant. I'm going to take you over here. There's one laying on the table that's trying to shoot out roots, so that you can see that the stems do that. You can see where I'm cutting the leaves off before I plant them. Get this out in the sunlight because it's just starting. Okay, see those little white spots? They will all become roots, and they will be covered. Trying to get as much light on this as I can. We got a cloudy morning off and on with blue sky and sun. But every one of those little white bumps will produce roots. So I'll have like 18 inches of roots on that last plant I showed you. Well, this is the after from the before. Trying to do a little watering, even though it's supposed to rain there for the next few days. We got all the tomatoes planted. We did 2 of the rows Saturday yesterday, and today's the, I think, 20th of May, a Sunday. My wife's picking up a bunch of little weeds. She's been weeding most of the day. But yesterday I did these and it looked like a no garden. And now as I come over here, it looks like instant garden. And the wind's just a howling, but I'm trying to get you to see what happens when you plant a few plants. All of a sudden you got some green in your garden. The rabbits have been pretty bad this year. They're eating on a lot of things. I've never had them eat a cucumber, but this whole row right here is really sparse. I replanted it. I've never had them eat a cucumber, but they're definitely missing. These are brand new this year seeds, so there's no excuse for that. Most new seeds have 95 to 100% germination rate. And you can tell right there, I got 1, 2, 3 watermelons. One of them's up, but and that one didn't have any the other day. And that one had 3. And now you see it's got a stub. And you can tell by these cantaloupes that there are a few missing. I'm making cages for them. They'll leave them alone so I can get them up. It's been 13 days since I planted cucumbers, so I planted both sides of that fence with 2 different kinds of cukes. I buried right much of the stems in the ground. The tallest one is right here. And I marked it 520, excuse me. And that's how tall it was. And now we can see how it grows, and that was 35 inches. You can see the rest of them are about 30, 33 inches. And we'll take the compost out of that pile and put it over all of these rows in here and all around these plants. And then they'll be good to go. I have suckered these plants down at the bottom, but right here on up, I won't sucker them again. Right there is as low as high as I'm going to sucker. I'm going to let that one grow because I need many stems up here to produce all the tomatoes I'm hoping to get all these plants. See, that sucker right there will be a branch. And I hope to have 4 or 5 branches in the top. That's just the way I grow them. Not everybody grows them that way. But I just clean them up at the bottom and sucker them up at the bottom. And I get up about 15 inches. I quit sucking them. See, I'm leaving that little sucker to grow a branch. That one's got a sucker come on it. That will be a branch. When that tomato gets up here, it's going to touch the other tomato on each side of it. I want a lot of branches, a lot of fruiting branches, and a lot of tomatoes. Starting to be blowing down here. I hope the wind isn't working on this microphone. It's starting to pick up again to about 20 knots.